The world is currently experiencing history's highest rate of disruption and uncertainty. Businesses across the globe are facing massive disruptions unlike anything the world has ever seen. Layoffs and retrenchments and economic anxiety are on the rise like never before. And so, whether by circumstance or by deliberate choice, your life will be disrupted. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Nicky Verd. I am the author of the best-selling book, Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted. If you love this content, I need something from you to help this community grow. I need you to please share this video on your favorite social media platform so that more people can get this message. I also need you to smash the like button and leave your comments below, and remember to subscribe if you haven't done so. Since publishing my book, many people have been really curious to understand the whole concept of personal disruption. I've talked about personal disruption at webinars and conferences, and I'll talk about it again in this video. It's important for us to understand that innovation and growth cannot really happen without personal disruption. I recently told the story of how my life was completely disrupted when I got laid off from my job back in 2016, and the events that led me to writing my book. You can check out that video on my channel if you haven't watched it yet. And so the reason I titled my book Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted is because there is no neutral ground. Businesses that don't disrupt themselves become outpaced, and the same goes for individuals who don't evolve and grow. Like I said, there's no neutral ground. You have to choose which side of disruption you are sitting on. For so long, disruption has always been viewed only in terms of new business models that come into the marketplace and disrupt the marketplace. We talk of how Netflix disrupted Blockbuster and how Airbnb disrupted the hospitality industry and so on and so forth. But I'm bringing the whole concept of disruption to people because if the market keeps changing and us as a people remain the same, then there is a mismatch. So, disruption isn't just for the market or entrepreneurs who launch disruptive companies, but also for ordinary people who want to pivot, change, and move ahead in life. And so, personal disruption at its core is the ability to adopt forward thinking, evolve, and reinvent yourself. Personal disruption is the willingness to play where others are not, and the willingness to step out of your comfort zone. You can also check out my video on 7 practical ways to step out of your comfort zone. South Africa was already in a recession before COVID-19 hit. And right now, the country is sinking deeper and deeper into a recession. And this isn't just a unique case for South Africa alone, but according to World Bank, the COVID-19 pandemic has plunged global economies into what's referred to as the worst recession since World War II. Both emerging markets and developing economies globally are all bleeding. The disruption brought by COVID-19 pandemic is unlike anything the world has seen. Millions of people in South Africa and across the world have lost their jobs, and for some, their working hours and income have been significantly reduced. And so, this is not the time to preserve the status quo, but a time to disrupt and expand your horizon. The world is widely different from what it was 10 years ago due to technological advancement, of course, known as the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And so whether you're a business entity or an individual, there's never been a time for you to disrupt and innovate like now. There is always opportunity in chaos. So be open-minded to throw things, at the wall and see what sticks. One of the things I mentioned in my book is that the Fourth Industrial Revolution is not about new apps or new technologies. It is about a new era, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing business, and new opportunities, of course. One of the best ways to cope with and even harness the forces of mass disruption is to become an agent of your own disruption. Either you disrupt yourself or you will be disrupted. Volumes of research and evidence show how disruptive thinking improves the odds of success for products and companies, even countries, and the same goes for people. To survive and grow your opportunity margins, you need to drive an agenda where innovative thinking is embraced and personal disruption is viewed as the recipe for success. When you disrupt yourself, you not only cope with the forces of disruption, you also enable yourself to harness its power and the opportunities. In life, nothing stays the same, and who would want it to anyway? I certainly won't. We pivot, we evolve, we learn, and we grow, and this is truly the magic of personal disruption. At any given point in our lives, we are either at a crossroads, at a scale, at a pivot, or at the status quo. The last place you want to be is at the status quo. Anybody that embraces the status quo is on a collision course with time, and someone who is fully invested in the status quo is unlikely to disrupt it. Disruption breeds innovation, and innovation breeds success. So the big question is, are you maintaining the status quo or are you pivoting? In business terms, a pivot is essentially a shift in business strategy to test a new approach regarding a new business model or a product after receiving direct or indirect feedback. And so the premise of personal disruption is for people to be able to ask themselves difficult questions and get feedback in real time based on current trends and where the world is going. Questions like, can my job be automated? In other words, can what I'm doing currently be done by a machine? Another question you could ask yourself is, what's my plan B if I were to lose my job today? Another thing you can ask is there a soul deep purpose, or some dreams buried deep within me longing for an escape? Is there something else I can do beside my job? Will my industry still be relevant in the next 5 years? Will my certificate still be relevant in the next 3 to 5 years? What can I do to upskill myself? What can I do to stay relevant? Am I stuck or am I pushing my own limits? Am I leveraging the right tools for success? These are some questions that you can ask and then start to think of ways in which you can disrupt yourself. Take an accounting profession, for example. There are accounting softwares that can do an accounting job way better and more accurate than any human can. So, if you are an accountant, maybe you can start asking yourself some of these uncomfortable questions. Perhaps you can maybe start thinking to leave the accounting industry completely, or you can move to another industry, maybe like data science or data analytics or digital marketing, or maybe you can consider going into consulting. These are questions that you ask and then consider where to next. What next? The big challenge, however, is that many people are holding on. Many people are holding too tightly to certificates or old ideologies that no longer work. Many people are holding on certificates that are obsolete and they're not relevant in the real world. Maybe because it cost them so much money to acquire these certificates. Maybe because it came from a certain prestigious university. I don't know. But the narrative has always been, go to school, get a certificate, get a job. But this was true in the age of our parents. But things are different now, But one thing you have to know is that you are risking the outcome of your future if you fail to disrupt yourself and shift your mindset and adapt to the new world and the new normal, which we don't know exactly what this new normal is, but we have to be willing to change our mindset. Another thing that I mentioned in my book is that certificates are no longer a guaranteed ticket to success as it was in the past. You can do more today with your life having just a smartphone and an internet connection, and that's an opportunity that our parents and grandparents never had. And so the whole concept of personal disruption cannot be discounted if we really want to move forward or want to move ahead in life. The book Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted was born out of an authentic passion to bring awareness of how emerging technologies are disrupting and changing the world, and how we can, embrace this change and become part of the revolution. It was born out of the passion to ignite human potential in the era of artificial intelligence and exponential change. The aim was really to bridge the gap, between people and the understanding of how disruptive technologies are impacting the workplace and life in general. I want people, especially the youth, to start thinking outside the box. Think outside a job, think outside their academic qualifications and certificates. I want African youth to start thinking innovation and how they can use some of these emerging technologies to solve problems in their own lives, problems in their communities, and even problems on the continent at large. Africa as a continent has so many problems that if youth become innovative, they can start solving some of these problems. I want the youth to start thinking, how can I create a job for myself? How can I create something for myself and for others, rather than the mindset that who can give me a job? Oh, please give me a job. That needs to change. That has to be disrupted. The co-founder of PayPal, Peter Thiel, said, doing what we already know how to do takes the world from 1 to 0, adding something more of the familiar. But every time we create something new, we go from 0 to 1. The act of creating is singular, as is the moment of creation and the result of something fresh and strange. Unless companies invest in the difficult task, of creating new things, they will fail in the future, no matter how big their profits are. And I take the same concept and I'm saying it goes the same for individuals. Unless you start investing in yourself, innovating, upskilling, and reinventing yourself, you'll fail in the future, no matter how secure and how safe you feel right now, or how safe your situation is right now. So here's my final thought. How are you positioning yourself, for this time? This is like one of the most transformational times in human history. Are you a prisoner of the past or a shaper of the future? I've shared more about personal disruption, innovation, entrepreneurship, and much more insight in my book. Get the book on Amazon or on my website. The links are in the description below. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this video valuable, remember to like and share with someone who needs to hear this. And thank you for watching. Looking forward to seeing you in my next video.